was more than capable of giving each and every single member of the crew some epic battles during Marineford. I don't think he would pass on this opportunity if there wasn't any actual reason. I mean, come on! Buggy became an online pirate and broadcasted the whole bloody war to the entire world for everyone to see. But the Straw Hats heard or saw nothing until it was already over? Don't you find this even a little suspicious? You see, Garp is known for his steadfast adherence to justice and his role as a powerful Marine. However, he's also Ace's grandfather and had raised Ace along with Luffy. His conflict between his duty as a Marine and his love for his family is brought to the forefront. Beating Dadan for punishment signifies his deep remorse and guilt over not being able to save Ace, despite his position and power. Garp's character is often portrayed as strong and unyielding, but this act of seeking punishment shows his vulnerability and humanity. His Orange Town arc. The arc begins with Luffy and Zoro out at sea, lost and starving due to the fact that neither of them have any sense of direction. After a series of comical events, the two of them end up at Orange Town, an island under siege by the clown pirate Buggy and his crew. Naturally, the Buggy pirates clash with the Straw Hat pirates, but which three characters are the strongest in this arc? Well, at number 3, I have Zoro, above characters like Moji and Kavaji. For number 2, I have Buggy the Clown. Buggy's Bara Bara no Mi allowed him to split his body into separate parts and control them independently. This made him immune to slashing attacks, as his body parts could detach and avoid damage. For example, Zoro's sword attacks, which normally would be fatal, were ineffective against Buggy because of this ability. Naturally, because of that, Buggy is placed higher than Zoro. And for number 1, we naturally have the one that actually defeated Buggy with this truly deadly move on Buggy's, well, you know, more sensitive areas. You see, the Straw Hats arrive at the final island of the Grand Line's first half, Subodi Archipelago. While searching for a means to pass under the Red Line into the New World, they come into conflict with a deadly human trading ring that sells to the world nobles. There, after a series of events, St. Charlos shoots Hachan and starts celebrating. Naturally, Luffy, that was present there and saw everything taking place, gets as furious as it gets. And what does he do? He punches St. Charlos so hard that he sends him back to the manga. Well, truth be told, the outcome of that was not the best, because as a result of Luffy's actions, a buster call was issued, which brought an entire warship filled with Marines, as well as the Vice Admiral Kizaru. We have the most epic arc as of yet, Enies Lobby. The Straw Hats, Soga King, and the Frankie family all arrive at Enies Lobby to rescue Nico Robin and Frankie. Standing in their way, however, are the forces of the world government, including its deadly assassination unit, CP9. A massive battle ensues between the two sides when Luffy declares war against the world government. Let's now see the top 3 strongest characters in this arc. At number 3, I have Chopper, that while using Monster Point, he was seen being an absolute monster. He completely destroyed Kumadori, and well, I don't think many people from this arc could actually defeat him in a 1v1. At number 2, I have Lucci, while at number 1, we have Luffy. Yeah, I suppose Lucci seems stronger than Luffy, but at the end of the day, Luffy won. So it's only fair that I placed him higher than Lucci, a character that has an even higher potential than Shanks, and even Luffy for that matter, is none other than Momonosuke. You see, if you consider the fact that Momonosuke is just one of the 6 users of the voice of all things, even at such a young age, has a devil fruit that is an exact copy of Kaido's devil fruit, and is even the son of Kozuki Oden, it comes as no surprise to say that Momonosuke actually has the highest potential in the world of One Piece. Now, when it comes to the oldest human in One Piece, we have Kureha at 141 years old. Not only is she older than Brook, who is 90 years old. Unlike Brook, Kureha is also alive. Well, we did say that Kureha is the oldest human in One Piece, but in reality, we don't really know how old some characters are, like Imu or the 5 Elders. So for now, Kureha is the oldest confirmed human in One Piece. See, back in Arlong Park, Nami had to prove her loyalty to Arlong and maintain her facade as a member of his crew. Because of that, she was tasked to kill Usopp. But instead of doing that, she stages Usopp's death by pretending to stab him with a knife. In reality, she stabs her own hand to create the illusion of killing Usopp. This scene carries significant emotional weight, as it showcases the lengths to which Nami is willing to go for the sake of her loved ones. It also reveals the inner turmoil she faces as she navigates her complex situation under Arlong's oppressive rule. This moment serves as a turning point in Nami's character development within the arc. It highlights her strength, resilience, and strategic thinking, setting the stage for eventual liberation and reunion reunion with the Straw Hat Pirates. And who is the funniest shadow in Sung Jin-woo's army? Well, the answer to that comes down to one of these two. It's either Iron, with his running gag of going overboard all the time, and the rest of the higher-ups like Igris or even Jin-woo getting pissed about it, or the one I will be going with, which is, of course, none other than Baru. I mean, this guy only has 2 moves: destroy everything and anything in his way, and being a cute little kid that seeks approval from his daddy. Baru, the Rengoku is stronger than base Giyu. Now that's a tough one. I'll say this: end of the series Giyu is surely stronger than Rengoku, as Giyu managed to unlock a bunch of power-ups that Rengoku didn't. This includes both Red Blade and Demon Slayer Mark. But how about base forms? Well, to be honest, in my eyes, it's pretty close. But if I had to give this to only one, I'd probably go with Rengoku. But again, this is very speculative, so I'll let you decide in the comments down below. Who do you think is stronger, base Rengoku or base Giyu? Give your thoughts in the comment section. But Nezuko is underutilized. She could contribute way more to the story. For this, I'm gonna say that I agree. Except for the 2 times she went into awakened form to fight, and the other couple times she did help with her flames, she doesn't really contribute to the story as much as she could. I mean, her VA gets paid to say for like 99% of the episodes she's in. Well, talk about a dream right there. I wouldn't mind that kind of career. Who is the fan favorite shadow? Well, the way I see it, this is between 2 shadows. Yeah, Belian and Iron are also really loved by the fandom, but they do not really come close to these next 2. Baru and Igris are by far the most loved shadows in Jinwoo's army, at least when you see the bigger picture among the solo leveling fan base, that is. Igris has been there since the start, and he is the true embodiment of the title Loyal Knight, while Baru, well, he's been nothing but enjoyment since the moment he appeared. Sometimes epic, overpowered, and ruthless, while other times a pure comedic chaos. Among the 2, I have the feeling that Baru is a bit more loved compared to Igris. However, since this is subjective, let us know what you think in the comments down below. Up next, Long Ring Longland. You see, upon arriving on Long Ring Longland, the Straw Hat Pirates are ambushed by the Foxy Pirates and challenged to a Davy Back fight, with the prize being none other than Chopper. Let's see the top 3 strongest characters here. At number 3, I have Zoro, number 2, Foxy, and number 1, Luffy. I think the only debatable position here is whether I should have Foxy or Zoro higher. But, well, given that Zoro is not at his strongest here, and given that Foxy's Devil Fruit is among the most overpowered in the world of One Piece, no matter if Foxy does not make the most of it, I thought Foxy deserved to be placed higher than Zoro. Having covered Long Ring Longland, here the main villain of the arc is Don Krieg. But, well, things are not that straightforward, as Don Krieg is not the only antagonist in this arc. But when it comes to the strongest characters here, how would we rank the top 3? Well, hear me out. At number 3, we have Don Krieg. He was known as the strongest man in the East Blue by reputation, mainly due to his sheer numbers, his strategic mind, and the vast arsenal of weapons at his disposal. He wore a suit of golden, bulletproof armor that was loaded with weapons and offered significant protection. The armor was incredibly durable, making him difficult to damage even for stronger foes. His reliance on his armor and gear made him a dangerous opponent, but I guess even his armor was not strong enough to keep Luffy from absolutely destroying him. Thus, naturally, at number 2, we have Luffy. But who is at number 1 then? Well, this guy is actually miles ahead of everyone else in this arc, and that would be none other than Mihawk. This encounter of Mihawk is like when you play a video game, max all your stats, and then return to level 1 just to flex on the weak side characters. Yeah, that was basically Mihawk in this arc. One of the strongest characters in the series, casually showing up to fight a rookie like Zoro in the weakest sea of One Piece. Most strongest characters here. At number 3, I have Nusjiro. Like, quite literally, the Straw Hats were powerless against him, and the only thing they could do when faced with him was try to escape. At number 2, I have Dragon. That made some brief appearances, and we can only imagine that he's probably stronger than the 5 elders individually. And at number 1, I naturally have Emu. Luffy's sacrifice in order to protect Nami from Django's throwing chakram towards her. You see, even though in the anime this moment was toned down and thus censored quite a bit, in reality, in the anime, this moment was something more than just brutal. Check this. Once Django threw these deadly chakram towards Nami, Luffy, which at this point in time was not as fast as he is now, nor even knew how to use armament hockey, the only way he knew how to protect Nami was to throw his body in the way in order to save his friend and navigator. When Luffy throws his body in the way to protect Nami from Django's chakra, it vividly encapsulates Luffy's unwavering sense of loyalty and his instinctive drive to protect his friends. This action is quintessential Luffy, impulsive, brave, and self-sacrificial. Despite the danger, Luffy doesn't hesitate for a second, showing his innate courage and the strong bonds he forms with his crew. This act further solidifies the trust and camaraderie camaraderie within the Straw Hat crew, illustrating the lengths to which Luffy will go to ensure their safety and well-being. But one of my favorites was Luffy's speech in Udon Prison. Now, I'm not even joking. I don't recall how many times I rewatched this scene over and over again. The background music, the voice acting, the emotion, the messages and inspiration slowly building up. Now that's how you make a speech to people with a broken will to fight. Luffy's speech serves as a powerful rallying cry for the prisoners of Udon. He boldly declares his intention to fight against Kaido and offers them a chance to join him in rebellion. His words ignite hope and courage among the prisoners, inspiring them to stand up against their oppressors. In every anime, there are moments that some characters' decisions are, well, in the very least, not the most brilliant ones. One Piece is, of course, no exception, as there were some moments that really made me wonder what the characters were thinking while doing them. Like that one instance where Luffy decided to eat a literal dead fish that just appeared on their ship. He didn't even bother asking if anyone knows whether that fish is poisonous or not. I mean, damn, at least, I don't know, maybe cook it first? But no, if Luffy sees anything that even remotely looks like food, then you better believe that he is shoving that thing in his mouth. He's not taking any chances of someone taking that food from him. Well, in this occasion, he was lucky enough that Reiju appeared. Otherwise, this would have been the lamest death any anime protagonist had in the history of anime. But something that was even more funny than that is the following. Many One Piece theorists have been trying to guess how the One Piece ends, and what this guy said is what nightmares are made of. According to this theory, the whole One Piece story is basically Luffy hallucinating. You see, Luffy was found inside a barrel by Kobe in episode 1, but according to this theory, this is not what really happened. Luffy is in a coma after drowning in that barrel, and everything we see is just Luffy's dreams. Another variation of this is that Luffy is still in a coma after the Marineford War. Yeah, if either of those is true, then Oda better start hiding. Luffy will inevitably die way younger than what he normally would. That's because during early uses of gears in One Piece, it was stated that this had a great impact in his physical health. Every time Luffy used second or third gear, his lifespan would decrease. Not only that, but it was also stated that after Luffy was poisoned by Magellan and impelled down, the treatment that Ivankov administered to him in order to save his life would actually have a severe drawback, as it would decrease Luffy's lifespan by a whole decade. These two facts, along with the theory stating that all Devil Fruit users get sick upon approaching the One Piece, might mean that Luffy will die way younger than most people think. As we all know, even if Luffy gets sick in his journey to find the One Piece, you can be sure that this would not stop him. He would keep going, even if it means sacrificing years from his life. The only chance for Luffy to escape this is if Chopper manages to cure him. If that happens, then I believe this would solidify Chopper as the world's best doctor, or even possibly ensure that now Chopper has achieved his goal and is indeed able to cure all known diseases. Speaking of the One Piece ending, has anyone given any thought about this? You see, no matter what Oda does, no matter how One Piece ends, no matter if the ending is bad, average, good, or even a masterpiece, a big part of the anime fandom, or even our own One Piece fandom, will unfortunately find it underwhelming, and Oda will probably get hated for it. Think about it. The question of what is the One Piece is the biggest mystery in the history of anime, possibly in the history of television, or even fiction in general. Even non-One Piece watchers wondered at some point what the One Piece truly is. This enormous anticipation will mean the following. Even if the ending is a masterpiece, Oda is bound to get hatred for it. No matter what Oda does, some fans will say something along the lines of, "We waited all these years for this?" Which, if you ask me, is pretty sad, considering the effort and time this man put into One Piece. So when it comes to the destruction of Ohara, this was obviously a tragic thing to happen, as hundreds, if not thousands of people were killed just so that the people in charge of the world could hide the truth from everyone. But did you ever realize this small detail? Nico Olivia died without knowing what happened to Nico Robin, whether she had actually survived or not. Her daughter made it out alive, but Nico Olivia never found out. Even though Nico Olivia was a great parent to Robin, other parents in One Piece are surely not so much. Yasopp, for example, spent years without knowing that his wife had died while he was absent. It was never confirmed whether he knows about it even now. Yeah, he was a terrible father that was never there for his sick wife and kid. But that still remains a sad fact nonetheless. Now, whether he deserves this or not, you can let us know what you think in the comments down below. The One Piece community is probably the most active fandom there is when it comes to theories, speculations, and finding the tiniest of details hidden within the anime and manga. While some of those theories are great, some of them are, well, something. These are 35 One Piece theories that are as bizarre and crazy as it gets. For example, the one character with the most insane theories revolving around her is Kuina. You see, her death was pretty bizarre, so it kind of makes sense that the theories around her will also be insane. But what I am about to tell you is nuts. You see, Kuina's life was cut short due to her fall from the stairs. We know this, but apparently, according to this theory, Pika was the stairs that Kuina fell over and died, in a way making Pika the legendary down these stairs. About the reason or proof Pika actually did that? Well, how should I know? Crazy people say crazy things. That's how the world works. Celestial dragons are the highest form of authority and power in the world of One Piece. Everything they say is a command to everyone else. They can literally destroy an entire country by simply giving the order. But Luffy being Luffy, he doesn't care about any of these. Hence, he went on to punch St. Charlos in the face after he shot Hachan. I'm not gonna lie, you can be